What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith, you're watching The Nerdy Narrative, and today on the channel I'm going to talk about all of the things that I want to read during the month of March. Before we get into the new stuff, let's touch on my carryovers from February. The first one I have here is The City of Marble and Blood by Howard Andrew Jones. This is the second book in the Chronicles of Hannivar. Been trying to get this sucker read for months now. Fingers crossed it's going to happen during the month of March. I have got to see what is next on Hannivar's journey to save his people. In addition to The City of Marble and Blood, I am hoping to also kick off my reread of Towers of Midnight by Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan. Book 13 of the Wheel of Time series. It feels like I've been rereading the series forever. It also feels like it's been just a few short months. I'm so excited to get these last two books read and just bask in the afterglow of the ending that is this series. This is one I will definitely be getting to during the month of March. Depending on how things go this month, if time allows, I will dive right into the final book of the series, A Memory of Light. So we'll have to see how things go this month. I know for sure I'll at least get started on Towers of Midnight. And then to round out my carryovers, The Will of the Wayfinder series by Lillian Crow. I want to reread book 1, Dreams of Dust. Follow it up with book 2, River of Stars. I have spoken with the author. Book 3 is very close to being ready. I've been kind of holding out so I can binge the 3 together. I just love Lillian Crow's writing. Anytime I finish a book, I want to go directly into the next book. And I usually have my TBRs way behind or packed too tightly to allow for that. So I've been kind of holding off adding things to the TBR for a multitude of reasons, and that will allow me to read the 3 books back to back if I want to. So I've been kind of holding off a little bit on these, but I'm eager to dive in. I think it's safe to start during the month of March. I believe that 3rd book is going to be available at any time now, so those are definitely on the list for this month. And now we can dive into the new stuff for the month of March. First up on the list for March is going to be an essay by Joan Didion. I've been reading one of her nonfiction essays every month as a buddy read with my friend Kate over at the Literary Apothecary, and we are reading these out of the collection We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live. This month's essay is called Doris Lessing or Leasing. I'm not quite sure the correct pronunciation of the name, but that's on the list for this month. I'll also finally be reading the arc for The Angel of Indian Lake. This is the final chapter in the Jade Daniel story. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen here. I've had the arc for a few months now. I just haven't been able to get a chance to read it. Some of that was I was trying to fit in a reread of book 1 and 2. That just didn't happen. I finally gave up the ghost that I was going to be able to fit in all of these rereads. I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm just going to have to continue the series and schedule rereads later down the road when my TBRs free up. Next, let's go ahead and talk about my patron book pick of the month, which is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Bryn Weaver is a new to me author. I haven't looked into their works yet to see if this is a debut novel, if they've written other things. I know that this is the start of a series. My friend Sharon picked this book for me to read this month. She was also kind enough to give me a copy of it to read. I saw a couple other patrons of mine had read the book, or rather I should say devoured it is a more apt description for how they described their experience reading this book. I am so excited to check this one out. I just can't wait to read it and be able to discuss it with my friends and see what it was they loved about it, what it was I loved about it, and basically just gush about it. My next 3 books that I am going to read this month are review requests. The first one is called Galaxy of Thorns, Rise of the Empress. This is a dark fantasy novel. I believe it was also entered into SPSFC, so that means there's some science fiction elements in there as well. I'm excited. I love genre blended stories. I'm going to go into this one blind, have a little fun with it, and see what happens. My next one isn't exactly a review request. It's one that I requested from Angry Robot Books, and I was delighted that they sent me an arc to an upcoming release called The Last Phi Hunter by Selene Goldberg. A Thai folklore inspired dark fantasy, equal parts smart, exhilarating, and delightfully fun. I cannot wait to read this one. The expected publication for this one is April 9th, so I'm going to make this one a priority to get this one read and reviewed, talk about it here on the channel so y'all can make a decision if it's one you need to pick up. Next on my list is one that I accepted for review. And over the months, it has become a very highly anticipated series. And full disclosure and honesty, I have plumb forgotten what it's about. All I can tell you, it's called the Wickwire Watch by Jacqueline Hagan. I'm excited to read it. I'm going to tell you all about it. And if you haven't been on social media to see all of the coverage that this series is getting, to know anything about it, I am going to be the one. So very much looking forward to that one. And then if I have time, and I know we're going to look at that stack and we're going to be like, yeah, right. But on the off chance that something crazy happens, time just freezes and I'm able to keep my eyes moving on the books and nothing else matters, and I'm able to read all my books really quickly, I'll continue my reread of the Dresden Files series. I'm currently over halfway done rereading Changes. Once I finish Changes, I've got a short story out of Side Jobs that's next called Aftermath. Once that one's done, there's another short story that's in briefcases called Bombshells that is next, and then I will be to the next novel in the series, A Ghost Story. Ghost Story is typically ranked really low with fans for some reason in the Dresden Files, and to me, it's one of the most important books of the series. It's in my top 5 for sure. I'm excited to reread it and see how I feel about what happens in it since I've read through the 17 books that are currently out. I'm eager to see if I still enjoy it as much knowing where the series is currently. I'm also curious to see if I missed anything, so really looking forward into moving on with that series. I'm almost done with my reread of that one. I can't believe I'm about to be done with Wheel of Time and a Dresden reread. Both really long series to tackle as rereads, especially at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. We all know I wasn't thinking. Thank you all so much for stopping by to see what all I'm going to read during the month of March. Are any of these books ones that you've read or you're reading or you're interested in reading? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you would like to share what you're going to read during the month of March, go right ahead. I would love to see it. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.